So, I wanted to have a little bit of a chat with you today. So talk to us about how you came to be at My Mortgage.
This is such a great story.
I think so.
Once upon a time, back in 2018, I think, we were on a road trip to Taumaranui, playing squash, you and I, sitting in the backseat of a car and bonding over not loving the corporate life that I was in at the time as an accountant. And yeah, that was pretty much the start of it. And then a few weeks later, you called me and were like, come and work with us. And I said, I have no idea what you do, but sure, that sounds great. And then it all kind of just moved from there. I have an accounting background, so I'd been working in an accounting firm. That's what I studied, thought that's what I loved and was what I was passionate about. And then once I started in that space, realised it wasn't quite for me. And so I was sort of, looking for something else, and coming to My Mortgage. It was so much about the people and working with you and Adam at the time, and doing something different, learning a whole lot of stuff, which really drives me. But still working with people and still working with numbers. So I think that's the key part.
Yeah, very good at that. What do you think people need to know before they engage with a mortgage advisor? How should they prepare for a conversation? What makes everything go really smoothly?
I think just having an awareness of their position or your position, and understanding where you kind of think you're at, and then everything else kind of falls into place. So having an idea of knowing what you earn, what you do for work, which most people should know off the top of their head or do know off the top of their head. But just, understanding your position. I don't think there's really anything specific people need to prepare. That's kind of what we're here for, to run through how things work, any questions they've kind of got, because for a lot of people, it's understanding their questions and actually having the conversation move from there rather than us jumping in and going blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think that's also what keeps people engaged with the process too, right? So you have that chat with them, and then it's like, hey, this is where you're at. And then they're like, oh, cool, I'm really in control of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they kind of see exactly where they are at different stages, and you can feel the progress. I think they can feel the progress more when they feel like they've started from nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mortgage has grown quite a bit over even the last 5 years. What do you think makes us different? Why have we grown through a period that's traditionally been actually quite a low market?
The number one thing, and I really believe this, is our people. I also think the structure of our team and how we operate, how we build our people, has been a huge driver in that. Even speaking about myself, how I kind of came into the business. I had a little bit of experience with numbers, but nothing in the mortgage space. And then working in a lending support role and evolving from there over a number of years before I became a mortgage advisor, I think that set me up really, really well for what I do for the business now. And that's also how we've then brought other people into the business. And I think that's a huge piece of why we're different from other firms, is we have a wider understanding of the process and all of that. And also just fun, energetic people, young. We love what we do.
Yeah, we do. And I often say to people, because, there's the standard sort of way that most firms run their businesses, which is hey, come on board, be an advisor. There's always support, I'm sure. But I think because there's that real integration into the team, I think, and very strong mentorship for a number of years. I mean, if I think about myself, it was probably 6 or 7 years with Adam. You're the same. And then
Absolutely.
We've worked together a lot, and now we're kind of giving back. So I think it's that rolling growth, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it sets a really strong foundation for the advice that we give and how we interact with our clients, which is another really big part of why we're good at what we do. And that is, our interaction with clients and the advice that we provide. But having that foundation set firmly over, all of that is so important.
What are some things that people get wrong about like mortgages, like myths that we would bust.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of classic ones that, you know, people come to us and we're like, oh, cool, yeah, we can explain that. But like, what should be more widely known?
I just think it's about having that conversation early for a lot of people. I think there is so much information out there in the media and online. It's so easy to access that information. And I think something I've heard a lot is that everyone has an opinion, but it's really important to get the right advice because that opinion might be right for their scenario, but it's not necessarily right for everyone and doesn't apply to everyone. Everyone's scenario is so different, and that's why sort of chatting to someone that knows what they're talking about, I think, yeah, even if it's not quite the right time for people to be buying their first home, we can at least give them tips and tricks of how do we get you there sooner. So yeah, I think it's about having that conversation. Don't be scared to jump in and have a conversation, even if you're not quite where you need to be. We can help you along that path. And so many people are closer than they think they are. I think that's a really big one that I wish more people just reached out, because so many people are scared. They're like, oh, I don't think I'm ready, or my spending's been all over the show. I think that's a classic that's been sort of blown up over the last few years. Is that your takeaway coffee is going to impact whether you can get a mortgage, and that is totally a myth now. So yeah, that's probably one of the things. Yeah, totally
agree. I reckon that's one of the big ones.
Yeah.
And well, I actually like to tell people that it's actually pretty rare for us to not be able to do anything for someone. I think that's actually relevant to know as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What things do you love most about working with clients?
I love being a really important or really vital piece of my client's journey. And I think that's especially the case with first home buyers. Obviously, it's the first time they're going through this process. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your entire life is buying a house. And so being part of that journey and sort of being a lot of people's first point of contact for anything that's related to that process is really awesome. And then sort of you see them move through that journey. I have had some clients recently, and at the start they're like, I don't know how to make an offer, I don't know how to do this stuff, or I don't know what it's worth, what should I be doing? And they're asking all the right questions. And then when they actually come to that final piece as part of the process and they've gone unconditional, they're getting closer to settlement, you kind of have that chat of, do you remember see how far you've come? And you have this conversation, and they're like, oh, we went to the house again and we thought this and this. And I'm like, see, And so I think seeing that journey unfold is really important to me and really, really cool. And then when we get the feedback or we get the photos of them outside the sold sign and the massive smiles, I really love that. I think, also for me, starting in this when I was in my 20s, I've worked a lot with people my own age and friends or family members, and I find that really, really special because there has been so much negativity through COVID and through the last few years of how hard it is to get into the market and how hard it is to do stuff. So to be a part of that journey and seeing people I know move things forward, makes me really, really happy. Yeah, it's such a thing. I feel really warm inside when you can help your people and use your skills to help progress them. Exactly. Yeah.
What do you think your biggest strengths are as an advisor? Because everybody has something that they do really well, and I have my opinion on that. But what do you think you do really well as an advisor?
It's probably one of the main things is the background of where I come from. Obviously, I have an accounting background and I have done a lot in that space. So the numbers come quite naturally to me. And so that really helps when I'm dealing with people that have complex scenarios in the self-employed space. Sometimes people understand what their financials mean and some people don't. They have an accountant for that, and that's totally fine. So helping self-employed people, I think just having an understanding of how that comes together and having those conversations and explaining it in a way that's simple to people that don't necessarily understand that, that's one big thing. I also think my growth through the business, and sort of being in the lending support team, being in our operations team, seeing how the entire process works over the last, 8 years or so now. I've pretty much worked in every part of the business, and I think I've got a really good understanding of how that has all come together, how policy has evolved, seeing rates go through different cycles, seeing the market go through different cycles. I think that now gives me a wider perspective and view on the market, and also has been really instrumental in kind of developing and growing me as an advisor as well.
And I think your technical knowledge is second to no one,
Yeah.
really, because you're always the one that knows that the real intricacies of policy and how we can manipulate that in a positive way for clients. I think that's super
and that's it.
important.
I think, like having done that for so long, knowing those policies, and now, even though things do change, it's so much easier to keep yourself updated as things change bit by bit, instead of like trying to chuck it all in and learn it all at once.
I reckon one of the interesting things when you're a new advisor is you think you kind of have to know everything. And I was reflecting on advice as a thing. I love your perspective. Advice as a thing being this well-rounded kind of set of options with some sort of recommendation. And I think it's not about telling people what to do. But I think you do it really well. Like, what do you consider, like, when you're giving advice, and then what does good advice look like for a client?
Yeah, I have had numerous conversations today, and most of these have been in the later stage of the process, so that actual advice of how to structure your home loan as you're approaching settlement. And one of the questions I ask all of my clients before I actually dive into what I think is, what is your opinion? Like, what have you had any thoughts about how you wanted to structure this lending? And see kind of what comes of that, because some people have no idea. Some people want to take what we say and roll with that. Some people have read online, which is very normal nowadays with the amount of information that's out there. They hear what's in the media, they see what's online, and they have an opinion, or their parents have said something, or friends have said something. And then there's people that kind of, we balance it out, and that's our job, is to sort of balance what we know, what we've seen, with what we think is right for that person. So to me, good advice is understanding our clients and their goals, their needs. If someone comes to us and says, this is our first home, but we're actually probably only going to be here for a couple of years, the advice we provide there is very different to someone that's buying their forever home and doesn't plan on leaving ever, or an investment property. So I think, good advice is knowing the clients, knowing their goals, understanding the market, having, as you said, the intricacies of policy, rates, just knowing our shit is so important. And so, like, going into those conversations prepared. So it's less about, I think, what the right or what the best rate is or what the best advice actually is. It's more about tailoring that and ensuring it's the right advice for each client.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree. And I think, like, that's the thing that makes the dealing with an advisor so different to, hey, I walked into my bank and they gave me my $500,000 and I just fixed because someone told me to. So that's exactly it. So what's it like day to day working at My Mortgage? What do we do that you think are the sort of cornerstones of what makes us good at giving customer service? Like, and then what is it like to be part of the team when we're celebrating as well?
We love a good celebration.
Great.
We love to have fun.
Yeah.
I think the important part for us on a day-to-day is making sure that we are serving our clients at any stage of the process that they're at. So whether that's someone that's come to us that's never owned property, someone that is already a client that wants to do something else, whether that's investment, sell and buy, someone that's just got their loan coming up for refix. For us, it's about providing advice for as long as someone has a mortgage. We want to be those people forever until they have it paid off. And we do. We have those conversations. We see people that have got to the end and they're like, we've paid off our mortgage, and they're so excited and they tell us. And that's also really cool too.
So cool.
But so sort of, being there for people wherever they're at. For us on an everyday, communication is so important. Whether I'm out and about, whether we're out and about meeting with clients, we have our team still moving stuff forward. And that means that we can sort of meet those expectations and put clients in the best position to move things forward quickly. So yeah, everything is always moving in the right direction. We want to come back to clients really, really fast on any of their queries. Getting documentation quickly and letting them know where they're at in the process. I think keeping clients updated of when they should expect to hear from us again is a big part of what we do. And then it's also that they have us, the clients have me as an advisor, or they have our advisor team, but they also have the other points of contact throughout our team that can help if we are stuck in a meeting or doing something else, and everyone is competent and really, really awesome. So having trust in our team makes us amazing as well.
Yes, such a good way of putting it. So who is Amber outside of work? What does she get up to? What does she love doing? What are the things that are important to her?
That's a great question. I feel like I've changed and evolved a lot since I've been at My Mortgage, and I think that's really cool to look back as well. I've grown up a lot. When I started, I was quite young. Over the first couple of years, I was quite nomadic. I did a lot of travel, moved to different places, didn't probably have much of a home base. But over the last couple of years, I've sort of realised how important it is to have that base. My people are here in the Waikato. My family is here. I now have a partner who's been a big part of that as well. But having a home and having a base, I've acquired a lot more stuff. But also, I still love to travel. I'm about to go away, do a bit of travel, like seeing the world, seeing new places. I like the off the beaten track sort of path, whether that's in my travels or even here at home. Love hiking, being outdoors, all of the things. Exercise keeps me sane. So the gym, going to the gym. I teach classes at the gym, which also helps with my interaction with people on a daily basis. I do a lot and I love what I do. I love being busy. If I'm not busy, I feel like something's wrong and I get a bit jittery. I love being busy with work. I love fitting everything together. And I think, a huge part of what we do is no day is the same, and how we structure our day is up to us. So for me, that might be starting work quite early in the morning, which I feel like I'm so productive in that time. And then going to the gym at 9:15, teaching a class. It breaks my day up. I see some people, and then I come back to work feeling quite refreshed, or I might set up meetings to align with that. So, the flexibility is awesome. It works in with my lifestyle. My lifestyle revolves around being flexible a little bit, I think. But everything.
And there's an element too, right? You have full flexibility and full accountability.
Exactly.
And those two things go hand in hand, which is great. It means that your career is set up for your life. Which is really cool. Yeah. I love that. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Amber and her role at My Mortgage and the growth over time?
I think, my journey with My Mortgage has been amazing. I've had awesome opportunities. I've had awesome support and people around me from the early days when it was just Adam and Claire and Hannah. There was only 5 of us right at the beginning to where we are now. I've really enjoyed being part of that growth journey as well. It's seen my role change immensely over time. As I said, doing bits of every part of the process, which is cool and giving me that well-roundedness in what I do now, but also seeing how we've brought other people through and created a team of really awesome people that are just good at all of the different things. To now, and even just how we've evolved in picking our strengths and weaknesses. So for me, looking at going, I love the numbers. I love working out how to make things work and being efficient, and how that aligns with your strengths of being out and mingling with people more and socialising, networking, and how we've made that work for us, I think has been really cool. Yeah, to trial things. Not everything works, but I feel like for the most part we've smashed it. And then bringing other people into our team, seeing how they can thrive. To now where we are, where we've got younger people. I was always the young one, and now we've got team members that are younger than me coming through, and that feels it feels really exciting for me as well.
That's amazing. I'm really proud of you. It's been an amazing journey. Like, I was getting quite emotional earlier, but thank you so much for sharing your insights, because I think it's really important for our clients, but also for people in the wider community to know, like, actually we do some cool stuff.
Yeah, totally.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thank